Our state's in trouble, our country is in trouble, and we need to elect people who are going to be people of their word and are going to do what they said when they were running. So that's my little pitch, my little intro.
Very good, thank
Yeah.
you very much. Dave is only able to be with us until 8:30 this evening, so we have to make the most of our time asking the questions. So with that, I will go ahead and open it up to open questions.
Yes, and by the way, you'll never offend me with a question, please. I love tough questions.
Why do you want to be lieutenant governor?
Well, first of all, as mayor, there is no description in my job duty as mayor. You know, I'm the CEO of our organization. I'm required to sign documents. I'm required to carry on the official face of the city of Superior. But the rest of my duties are not described. So in other words, your mayor or whoever mayor you have in the community you live in, they're not told what they have to do every single day. So as mayor of the city of Superior, I take on projects. One of them was to reduce the crime rate in a particular neighborhood and clean that neighborhood up and do everything we could of our municipal responsibility to reduce the crime in that area and improve the living conditions in that neighborhood. No one told me to do that. I just knew it was the right thing to do. No one told me that we should be working on reducing debt. No one has told me that we should be privatizing services. As lieutenant governor, I can take on because I'm duly elected. You know, this is one thing about Wisconsin is you elect your lieutenant governors. And lieutenant governors can take on projects and drive issues and accomplish things just as a mayor can. I believe, though, the principal job of the lieutenant governor is to drive the governor's agenda, too. They don't do it alone. I don't do anything alone as mayor of the city of Superior. I get help, I find partners to accomplish our agenda, and that's exactly what the governor has to do, and lieutenant governor's the best one to do it with.
You mentioned eliminating budget items
Yes.
from the budget
Mhm.
in Superior. Did you have the power to do that? Does the mayor have the
No, you have to drive an agenda because the city council makes every single one of those decisions. I can't just arbitrarily say we're not going to print a calendar.
Okay.
What happened was I eliminated in the budget, and a counselor found out that that item was gone, and of course calls me on the phone, and I mean, he didn't quite say it this way. My picture's in there every year, but he made it very clearly that he was going to lose this nice item he could give free to the citizens and ingratiate themselves. And now that calendar issue became actually quite a hot issue. It's an amazing thing. I hand the council a $25 million budget, and we fight over an $800 item, and that's how it is. But we accomplished that by getting other allies to help make sure that that item stayed out of the budget and that it wasn't reintroduced. So the governor's in the same position. He can't spend a nickel and he can't eliminate a nickel. And he needs somebody to help him drive that budget agenda.
You say you would carry on with what the governor would want you to do, but
Mhm.
if you have some ideas that you think are good,
Mhm.
will you propose that to the governor? Or how would you even draw in businesses? Because our businesses are leaving Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And I would think that your responsibility could be is to try to get businesses to stay in Wisconsin or bring businesses in.
I'm the only lieutenant governor candidate that has actually been involved in development locally. Because as a mayor, if you're going to start a business in Superior, you come and see the mayor first. Because there's a lot of questions that developers and investors have asked. A lot of it is about regulation and land and land use and codes and ordinances. But really the bottom line is what they want to know, can I make a profit in your community? That's what they want to know.
Mm-hmm.
And so being 22 years self-employed, writing my own check, I realized that small business is going to create, and this is a fact by the way, small business is going to create 2 out of every 3 new jobs when this economy recovers. I don't know if you know this, we have funded General Motors for 40 years. Did you know this? And we have given General Motors billions of dollars over 40 years. An interesting thing is, during all of those subsidies for 40 years, they have shrunk their employment every single year. Interesting. And yet, small business, when you help and aid small business, generally the result is they grow employment and they grow the number of people that work. And I think I'm going to have a strong passion for advocating for small business. The big business people, and I'm telling you, they've already got their ins and their people. They've got the leverage and they know how to get the big dollars. I know because it comes into my community and I've seen it come into other communities. It's always amazed me when a very large business gets $5 million from the state or $10 million from the state or $20 million from the state. Well, we have 15 small business people that go out of business and there isn't one nickel to help them get through this other than SBA loans and more debt. And so what most business people are, that come to see me, they're not looking for anything. They're just looking for us to stay out of their business so that they can prosper. And this harassment goes on all the time. I use an example in our community. A company's built a headquarters in our community, and there's a small little ditch, maybe 15 feet wide, maybe not more than 60 feet long, along a 4-lane highway, a ditch, and then this improvement. And the DNR came in and the site plan says, do not touch this. This is critical habitat. You know, we're going to have bear and geese sitting right next to the freeway and in this little puddle. And as you know, in Wisconsin, they have expanded the term navigable waterway. You know, yeah, some of you are going like this. It's got the broadest definition of practically any state in the country, believe this or not. A puddle can be a navigable waterway, literally, in Wisconsin. And so the dozer operator just simply groomed this entire site and took out this critical habitat. And now they're under DNR rule to restore this habitat. And if you're building a building under a tight budget and all of a sudden you have to go find the little grasses and little berries and little weeds that were all in there and go back and find them and replace them and make it look just like it was before, when really if you just left it alone it would get wet again and it would grow all those things all on its own. But we go through this harassment of small business that is just wrong. Yeah.
Dave, are you familiar with the RTA issue in the Dane County area?
I am very familiar with RTA, not only that, but statewide, because I used to be on the board of the League of Municipalities. I've also been very active in both of our state municipal organizations. And yes, I understand the advocates.
Is there anything as Lieutenant Governor that you could do to help reverse the RTA in the Dane County area? Other
than being a loud voice against RTAs. And I like, I'll tell you what, we had our mayor's meeting in Racine, I don't know, Linwood, about 3 weeks ago. And Scott Walker came in and he was asked the question, what is your position on RTAs? Mark Newman was asked the same question. And it's the same answer I would give. An RTA, if it's going to exist, has to first of all fund and completely fund itself with no taxpayer support whatsoever. And the second thing is you can't levy or increase the tax for it. Very simple. Have your RTA, okay, but do it as a commercial operation. Do it as a business. You wonder why businesses got out of bus transit in the cities. You know, when I was a kid, our bus company was owned by a local bus company. It was a for-profit company. Government got involved, and today our bus costs us about $1.3 million a year to operate. This is transit. And our fare box collections, that's dollars coming in to help operate the system, come in at 10%. So for every dollar I spend operating the bus system, I get 10 cents to help pay for it. And I gave that example at an event, and I got this email from this guy, and he goes, well, listen here, you're lying. It doesn't cost you $1.3 million to run your bus system. You know that there's a federal subsidy, and you know all this. I says, no, I never break down the fact that out of that $1.3 million, it's all taxpayer money. I don't care what the source is. And yet they're trying to prove their point by saying, first of all, federal money is non-money. Local money is only real money. And fare box money is, we all hope more people ride the bus. You know. Last night we had the conversation about the train. We had a lieutenant governor's forum, and I was the only Republican to show up.